Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second edition of the Crossover Cinema Podcast, featuring Karlo and Kaya, offering our usual unique takes on the latest films, TV, and media releasing.
Today, what are we talking about?
Oh,
Just say it, Kaya. Got my shirt on.
Today's X-Men Day.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, because, it's been a long time coming that we've been waiting for some X-Men content. Ever since Disney purchased, Fox, we're like, okay, where's it coming? Is it coming to us? Are we gonna get that full spiel? But now we have it. We've had it for 5-6 weeks now.
6 weeks now.
We're eating good. Sorry,
Bro.
7, you guys. My bad.
Bro.
7. Actually, no, they did 2 episodes this drop, so it is 6 weeks. Yes,
Bro.
We've been eating good. Eating Thanksgiving dinners every week. Doesn't matter what it is. It can literally just be some stuffing and some salad, like that episode.
But right now, we have a lot.
Tell me I'm wrong though. Okay, that Jubilee episode, right? That was some stuffing, right? Some really good stuffing with some cranberry in it. Okay.
It was okay.
No, listen, some good stuff. Listen to what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
There was some good stuffing with some good cranberry in it. Okay, and it was a nice homemade salad, for your Thanksgiving dinner, because you have to have some greens, right?
Yeah.
If you're not doing collard greens, and it still felt good. It still was enjoyable. It was still
about food, bro.
It was so enjoyable.
No.
I love food.
I get it.
Don't hate, appreciate.
I get it. I love it, but that Jubilee episode, bro, without Storm in it, it was perfect. They're both together, a feel good episode like that with a little bit of Storm.
You need a little bit of levity before you hit us. Before you hit us with the truck.
Bro.
Hit us with a train like Magneto did,
Bro.
R.I.P. Gambit, y'all.
Yo.
Let's just take a moment. Let's just take a couple moments
but bro,
for
when that shit happened,
No.
though.
I think Karlo, it's appropriate. I think pour notre cher Gambit.
What?
We should take a couple minutes.
Not a couple minutes. We're in a podcast, bro.
10 seconds, y'all. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds of silence, y'all. 10 seconds.
Gambit, man, when he died.
When Gambit died. Yeah.
With Rogue in his hand, crying like Rogue.
Yeah, she really said, "I can't feel you.
I can't feel you, man." It
was
my childhood came back in 1 second, bro.
Every
episode.
I gotta give some credit where credit is due. Yes,
know.
you were recently fired for an undisclosed reason, so we can't really talk about that. But we can say, Bo DeMeo, your writing is excellent. Excellent. You did a great job. You have captured the X-Men vibe to a T.
The X-Men,
it's sexy, it's fun, it's heartbreaking.
Everything we wanted when we were young. I don't know. There's
it's more than that, because think about it. When you watched the original, through your rose-tinted glasses, right? You're like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. It's the best thing since sliced bread. It's the best thing since frying a fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You gotta try them, you guys. You gotta try them.
About food, man.
The point is when you look at the original, it didn't have as much grit as it wanted to. You knew it was there. It was brimming. It had times where it got dark, absolutely. But, everybody remembers anytime a car was about to blow up and there were some bad guys in there, you get the car's windows rolling down. They jump out. The car blows up. Nobody ever gets truly hurt unless it's laser beams. Lasers, and I love laser beams, but you know what it was? It was meant to have that Saturday morning kids cartoon, violent friendly vibe, or friendly violence vibe. But now with that extra modern, we don't care. We don't care now. We know you guys grew up and you want some real. You want some good, because when you went back and you watched that original, you said, "This is great, but it was still a kid show." This ain't show children's X-Men.
I know, man.
This is what we have been, I think, waiting for that drive, that week to week drive to want to just feel the mutant energy, the mutant vibe, the mutant mentality. It's its own unique thing that I think Marvel right now, I have my feelings about Phase 4, and I think Phase 5 now. I actually think it was pretty all right. I really enjoyed a lot of it, but I know a lot of people didn't. So I know that for Marvel, they need that win. They need the solidarity of the fan community to be like, this is some good shit, and that is what it is. That is what it is. There's for me, there is literally no complaints. I think the music is well done. I think actually they should bring the volume up on it a little bit. Happy Nation, y'all. They dropped that Ace of Base. Check Ace of Base on Spotify right now. I bet you Happy Nation is number 1 because I'm listening to it. I listened to it on my way here. It's that good. It's that good.
Oh yeah,
it's that good. And it's funny. Everybody knows a little bit.
Every week it hits you back.
No, but here's the thing. Everybody knows. Everybody knows a little bit of a song from something, right? But when it hits with that right moment, that right impact, it's almost like it renews the energy of it. Everybody knows this is the rhythm of the night, right? Yeah. But when you hear that other song, you're like, oh, wait. And then you think of the deaths that happened. You think of the sorrow, but the happiness that was trying to be captured and the dancing and Nightcrawler teleporting. And it was beautiful until it wasn't. And for me, I need some happiness for these people.
But
X-Men, wait. My X-Men deserve happiness.
Let's pause just a second. Let's talk about Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler that finally came back. You mean as a cameo? And that's my thing. I'm cool with cameos, but I can tell the cameos, like, you can tone down the fan service a little bit. It's X-Men. We know how many X-Men there are. We know how many people are associated with the X-Men. They have so many characters that are so interesting. But I think there's some that you don't need. You do not have Exodus. I don't know if you noticed that. You don't have Exodus show up in that episode and have him be on that island and everything goes down and nothing. He's not showing his powers. Like, I think cameos can really serve a purpose, but sometimes when they're fan service like that, it's like, come on, you can do a little better than that. I will say though, if they did show a scene of Exodus just flying away, I would have been like, okay, I get it. You guys know what's up because he dipped the island before everything would happen. You know what I mean? But the thing is like there's a narrative that they're trying to play with that kind of pulls from a lot of different comics all together. No, I agree. It goes really fast. It goes really fast. Like it's
breakneck pace, but maybe that's what we need.
But now I'm used to it. But at the beginning, I was like, it goes too fast. Like I wanted to go a little slower. I was like, all the episode with Cyclops and Jane and. You know what I mean? Like,
no, see, for me,
went fast.
I'm okay with Madeline Pryor going by quickly because I think that when you now are inclined to go back and watch those OG episodes and see the difference in Jean Grey's hair and notice that when she goes and sees Cable's mindscape, that she actually pictures Madeline Pryor with her hair down next to Scott, not her, but she doesn't see the difference, and that's the thing that is always going to strengthen this show. That bonding with the past narratives, narratives there were always strong. But it's for me where at the end of the day, what it needs to do when it comes to the cameos is make them feel very serviceable. I love seeing Nightcrawler, and Nightcrawler was done well because he had that action bit. He had that bit where he saved Magneto and his sister. You know what I mean? And he did that kind of. They did it. They did a lot of that you need in what we need when we see the live action X-Men, but. Realistically, animation is what allows you to see all the paths of it, the scale, the epicness, but still be able to do it on what is arguably a reasonable budget. So it's like, that's extremely important. That's why I will always support a lot of these properties being done more so animated than live action. I love live action. I really love a lot of the stuff, but at the end of the day, like if you told me right now that we weren't going to get any X-Men movies and we're just going to get these big X-Men animated films within different universes of the X-Men, this universe, another universe, I'm there day one. My tickets are pre-bought.
But yeah, that's the thing. Everybody I think would go back and watch X-Men. Like everybody loved those.
There's so many
movies.
tidbits.
Like why it's not back yet? Like why it takes so long before it comes back? You think?
I think it's really a matter of Marvel already having a lot of different plans.
Because now they did like when they were younger. Did it work?
No, it didn't work.
It didn't work.
No,
like
it absolutely
didn't
work.
get
X-Men
me.
Apocalypse is an abhorrent abomination of a film.
Like
no cap.
Jennifer Lawrence,
miscast.
Like
She's miscast,
Mystic.
but
No,
she
it's
still,
okay. But
she
at
still
the
did a
time,
good job
at
in
the
First
second
Class.
she was like Mystic, I stopped. Like,
Oh, you watched First Class and then you were over it.
well, I was like, okay, well, it doesn't work for me anymore. Like, it's not. I
think First Class is actually one of Matthew Vaughn's probably is his strongest film. Although he did a disrespectful disservice to Eddie Gathke in that film. R.I.P. Darwin. If you know, you know. But there's a lot of, I think, just a lack of synergy with the original X-Men, Foxmen films, as I like to call them, right? And I feel like, generally speaking, a lot of what you need for the new stuff is that revamp that pulls enough from the past that you enjoy, but gives you these fresh takes and these fresh visual interpretations of these characters. I think, for example, we cannot have a lighter skinned Storm. We need to stop that shit. Can we go call up Jodie Turner-Smith or something? You know, what are we doing? What are we doing? Just call a sister up real quick. Call up Kiki Lane. Just make it happen. Make there be a synergy in which somebody can look to the media and feel like there is a core tether. That X-Men 97 is the standard. What you expect and what you want.
Yeah.
At that level, now bring it to the big budget.
Yeah.
Drop the $200 million. Make that cast diverse.
Because it's
make
there. The
that
there,
narrative strong as hell, and we're good. We're good. I love seeing Beast in the Marvels. That movie's solid. Nia DaCosta did a good job, but it's not everybody's cup of tea, and I understand that. It's not, and it's not going to be. But when you throw a scene with the original Beast, and you got Kelsey Grammer from the Fox X-Men movie, one of the better castings in those movies, returning to voice that role, what is there to say? It's solid. Yeah. So if that's an indication of the angle they're going with, if X-Men 97 is the through line for all this, I'm there day one. I'm there day one regardless if it's shit, because I'm still going to criticize it. But if it's amazing, I'm really there. I'm there in support. You know, and that's what Marvel needs right now. Marvel wants a unified front. They don't want that DC fracture. That DC fracture is real. Tell me a DC fan who
likes them all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not only likes them all, but has their interpretation of Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman been done. Everybody has their version. You have a version. You don't even like Wonder Woman like that, but you have a version of Wonder Woman in contrast to me. You know how much I feel about her. Right?
I know. You love Wonder Woman. I love.
Right? But when I see a certain thing, I'm gonna have my interpretation of it. That's why I don't like certain things about these ones, right? The same way that for you, you're like, I'm a little bit more indifferent because it's cool. It looks visually appealing and I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? There's a standard kind of being established there that for both me and you is going to be a different takeaway. It's all about
like how deep you are with all those characters, I think. Like how it touched you at one point.
How it is for you with TMNT, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
or even Batman, or even like... But Superman, for me, it's not really like... I think I'm like fractured. But that's a fracture between Batman and Superman.
Superman deserves some respect. Superman.
I get it. But however, it's a long battle. Like, it's not about like the movies, but more about like
getting these characters done with the right depth.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's why I like X-Men. That's why I like 97. Like they honed in even further than the original show on what these characters are, who they are. There's a reason that Wolverine is just this presence that is felt. He is supposed to be that. He is not your lead. That is a 5'0" monster looking ass, hairy, beautiful man.
Okay, let's not talk about Wolverine like that on this podcast.
What? He's a monstrously beautiful man.
Yeah, but nothing Wolverine is he's coming, bro. He's coming, bro.
Is he?
Wolverine and the X-Men.
He's coming with more.
Do you know that show, Wolverine and the X-Men? That cartoon?
Of course. That's an example of what I'm talking about. Don't do that.
I get it.
Don't
do that. He exists. And he has a role, man. I'm sure there's gonna be a couple.
No,
of
but his
episodes
role
about
is
sure.
that of the canary in the coal mine, the support, the pillar, the center. He is a center of the X-Men. He is not the leader.
No,
but he is a core.
Yeah.
When he's there, the warmth.
But
is
I would like
felt.
to have a couple of stories with him.
He's
coming. He's coming.
But my point is that he doesn't need to have this forefront as though he is the most relevant member to the team. What everybody adds, why this episode of Storm worked so well, is not just the buildup over the season. It's not just the buildup. It's not just the voice actress. I forgot her name. I want to say it's Allison Smith or something akin to that. You are amazing. You're amazing, amazing, amazing. There is a clear love and passion that is there. Yes, you should always have somebody in the room who's a little more detached, a little more disconnected, and wants maybe to have an outside look at the thing that is not attached to a fan perspective. But when you have people who clearly love the source material, clearly love who they're playing, and want to make it feel as vibrant and as grandiose as the X-Men should be, they are hot. They're steamy. Every time you watch these episodes, you're like, It's a vibe. It's an energy, and it's captured so well. That's why everybody's coming back week to week, is frothing at the mouth, making meme after meme. You know what I mean? I'm going to say it like that Gambit episode, remember it, that episode, that should be Emmy nominated. That should win an Emmy. No cap. The same way that, some of the voice acting here has redeemed some of the stuff. Because I never really loved Professor X in the original, and I don't think it's the same voice actor. I think it's Ross Marquand. Now he's really out here. I see you on Invincible, but for me, it's really this like this renewal. Like that line where he's seeing Gambit dead and he's like feeling it. Oh, my children. I'm like,
bro.
Oh, my children.
But let's talk about that episode a little bit. Yes. It's a full metaphor. That episode was a full
well
how I felt it was like.
Bring it back. This is the thing. There's
fight between
Go ahead,
like
please.
the fight between Storm and her inside problems. After you got
Captured so beautiful.
After you got X-Men that Professor X that was the moral against the justice to do his new life and forget his old life, but he doesn't want to. And even Cyclops with Jane, it's another metaphor about meeting another woman, but you
take it a step further.
But it's always been that with X-Men, right?
My friend, take it a step further.
Racism, difference.
Take it a step further. These are things we always know the X-Men not only are capable of, but touch upon, but bring it a step further. When you look at the way that everything is synergizing narratively, it feels like you're reading a high quality comic written by people like Jonathan Hickman and stuff like that. You're getting all of the tension and the energy and the I think just the despair that these people go through, that despite that they persevere. And then add on top of that just the scale you're getting. You will have an episode that depicts an entire island, a whole news interview, a big terrorist attack, major deaths, major emotional beats, and then you'll literally bookend it with another episode that contains more emotional beats, big epic scale in an intimate way. You know what I mean? It's all done with this efficiency that
when she becomes, okay, let's talk about a little about Storm. That became with her black suit.
Yes, the original suit from the 70s.
Come on, talk to me about that. I know you know some stuff about that.
That was one of the most exciting moments,
bro,
in media.
Bro, I have
my LG C2 OLED with all the bells and whistles.
Oh my
God. The sound and the visuals.
I was just tripping. I was 10 years old again. I was like, it's impossible.
Amazing.
What? I tear every episode. I tear up, man. And it's like, doesn't make sense, but yeah, when she come back in her suit,
I think they clearly knew they wanted to tee up this moment that every episode kind of has this grand moment. It could be two, I think Professor X's scene is one of those, and then I think Storm having that is the climax. It's the You know, it's the everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
You know, and that's why I just do that little wind sound because
But and how they put like Gambit dead, how he saw it.
It's a beautiful visual.
It's a beautiful.
It's a low key.
Vision,
It's
mixing with the fact that he's giving like
darkly
like that he's teaching at the
Yeah.
same time, but like it's just switching and he feels it and
he
like
feels it 100%.
and that's when he decides. For me, that's when he decides internally that
I want to bring it
X-Men.
more
That's
than that
crazy.
because you were saying that you liked a lot of what they were doing, but like we're saying, all of that is what you expect from the X-Men. That tethering to civil rights, that understanding of the injustice that minorities go through, especially the parallels to what Black people specifically go through and natives specifically go through, and it's like that is captured in animated form so well in a way that you're like, how does live action stuff have trouble with that when you're dealing with all these sorts of things and real people that you can have emote, not just the voices that these people are bringing with immense power and immense gravitas, like just straight up. Like Jennifer Hale, don't ever stop. Don't ever stop. You are amazing. Like Jean Grey is given a new lease on life in this show. Yeah, if you know the comics, you know she's fire. You know what she's done. You know what she's capable of. I'll give you an example. Jessica Jones. She literally created a mental trigger in which if Kilgrave ever came back to her, she would see Jean Grey, speak to her, and be able to relinquish Kilgrave's control over her. Do you know how crazy that is? She turned off the pheromones from working. That's Jean Grey. I'm talking, and that's on a minor scale, low key, high key. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. But the thing is that the way everything is being tied together, it feels so right. It feels like the sort of thing like you are looking at it and you're not even really able to picture a way for it to go better other than wanting more.
No, but now wait, because now it finished with Sinister, and wait, that's the thing is I'm not that down. Okay. That Sinister will be the bad guy.
I got you.
For the rest of like how many episodes is there left?
We've got 3 more.
Three more episodes, so it's gonna go so fast though. And it's done after.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think realistically, what they're setting up right now is a really solid, big finale that will clearly give us questions leading into the next season that's already written. And they're animating right now, so that's very exciting. And the 3rd season is definitely coming after that. So I think in terms of that, we'll see. I think how he was done is a little bit crappy. I think it's really clear.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Everything
but at the same time,
well,
when it came to Jonathan Majors, we knew. We knew what was up. And I think if we don't really know what's up, I don't think we should condemn somebody based on information we don't know. People of color, especially when they're in the hiring processes, go through a lot of different shit. And I'm not going to assume that Marvel doesn't have its own biases and bullshit that somebody can be dealing with at the workplace. And let's keep it a bean. If you look at anybody else who's worked on the show, who is promoting the show on Twitter, they have pictures or references to Beau DeMayo and, for example, his character that they spotlighted in that one scene. And remember it. A lot of people, one of his coworkers, I think a supervising producer, has that picture on his profile on Twitter. There is a clear support and solidarity amongst the people who have worked with him that I don't think is clear of somebody who's guilty of all this kind of stuff. So I'm just going to hold out hope. And he's a brother of color who is also a bisexual or gay man. I'm bisexual, so I totally understand what we can go through our marginalized experiences. And I'm just like, I'm not going to hold him to the flame until I know what's up. But I'm going to recognize his work. I'm going to recognize his genius. He's moving with grace.
He's
with the grace of Allah, with the grace of God, with the grace of Buddha. Okay? Straight up. Like, I really want to see where they go with this. And I think to your point about Sinister, don't worry. I think Sinister is clearly a red herring. He's a fake out, and I think what's important to note with the show is that Sinister has
be Sinister.
Important to understand. Sinister is a major Marvel villain and a major, immense X-Men villain. However, the use of him throughout the show, he's been a core villain. He's already had his Thanos effect. For example, if you were to bring Thanos back in the MCU, he wouldn't have that same level of effect. He would be more of a, for example, when Frieza first showed up in Dragon Ball, Frieza was the biggest shit. But then after the fact, when Frieza came back, he got cut up by by Trunks in like 5 seconds, right? So my point is like you have an understanding of the scaling. And I think that when you show Mr. Sinister being responsible for one of the biggest tragedies in X-Men history, it's not working fully. You need that kind of extra villain, that extra piece. And I think it's coming in the form of Bastion. In the comics, that's a character who has done a lot of damage and has a lot of implications for that future timeline, especially in relation to Days of Future Past and the Sentinels. And I think that they're going to explore their own version of that, the same way that the show's just clearly been trying to kind of just be its own energy and intensity of,
but it's respecting a lot of
the
what
original
the comics are.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's capturing that, but still doing its own thing within those narrative arcs.
I know, it's amazing. What do you think about like Magneto? Like,
what you're really asking is, what do I predict is going to be going on in the future?
What's coming like for him, like in the next episodes, like.
Firstly, he's obviously not dead. I think the
I think
the line that he said to Leech could be interpreted in two ways. One is very much the way of, is they're dying, don't be afraid, it's okay. But I think the way he was really saying it was, I'm Magneto, bitch. Don't be afraid. I got you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I got you. I'm the master of magnetism.
No, but everything is... Yeah.
He whipped that master mold with that train like he was a slave master. I have never wanted to see that. But that time, when it was in the hands of a righteous mutant, subjugating their oppressor to what they've always been subjugating them to, yeah, I'm feeling it.
I really,
what is there? What else is there to say? Almost, right? It's so. I know. I feel that.
I'm sure he's not dead. I'm sure he's not dead. But
he's not dead. Absolutely, he's not dead. And moreover, I think the X-Men, when they reform that core team, when they go back into action, you ain't never seen an X-Men like this.
Yeah, but
because our Cyclops is becoming
Charles
the
coming
real.
Back?
No, don't worry about Charles. Let me tell you something about Charles.
Yeah,
Charles is a softie at the end of the day. When he sees his children dying, oh no, my children. But if we're keeping
I was like,
no, don't understand.
Finally, a father present.
I cannot take away a present father, right?
Yeah,
let me tell you something.
He was like, man, Charles Xavier was like, oh no, my children.
I'll put it like this, okay? For me, it's really simple. Like Professor X's role in being that Martin Luther King type and Magneto representing Malcolm X has always worked really well within the framework of it, and it's a known fact. However, I think that there is a weakness that Martin Luther King didn't have that Charles Xavier does have that is important to his character that differentiates them. And it's like, he has a drive, but he almost has that weakness. That's why he's with Lilandra. If he really was about it, he would have never left to go with Lilandra. I love Lilandra. She's a G, bro. Bird lady, hell yeah. I'm going to hop on that. Real talk. Is she about it? But let's keep it a bean, though. Let's keep it a bean, though. Love is one thing, but when you have a duty to your children, when you have a duty to the people that you've found...
you're going to die, you stay on Earth. That's why you left.
Here's the thing, though. You leave and you come back. You don't astrally project your death to your children and have them go through that trauma, then come back and then re-traumatize them again. To my point. Good
father of the
good
year,
sir, good sir, Carlo. To my point. My issue really lies in the fact that Xavier can't be that hold. He can come back and give them that support that they need. Couple 1-2 use of his immense telepathic powers. However, Cyclops and Cyclops' radicalization to that side of fuck y'all humans, I ain't about this shit. Y'all don't deserve us. Y'all don't deserve no help, and we gonna do our own thing is exactly what the X-Men needs. And it's exactly what this kind of group after this tragedy would kind of respond, you know? This kind of, the writer talked about that 9/11 response. I think the X-Men having a slight kind of 9/11 response, like we're on guard now, we're on high security. We don't just let anybody in now. We don't just let you. We're more secular. We're more separate. I think that that's something that you should explore narratively and show how they get back to that full humanity that they
they don't have enough time. Bro.
They have seasons. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, they have seasons. Yeah, for sure.
Worry,
Okay.
They're good.
But not before the end of the season right now.
No, not at all.
Now it's going to be a lot of like...
I think a lot of bookending, a lot of
fighting.
A lot of fighting, but it's going to be bookending a lot of people's arcs so that next season we're left with some answers, but we're left with more questions so that once it starts, it hits the ground running yet again. I think next season is going to be the same thing. I think if this is his writing style for a season, don't think it's going to change next season. It's just we're going to hunker down some more. I think honestly, though, give him some more episodes. Give them some more episodes. Give them some more episodes to gestate. Sometimes give us
10 episodes for a year.
We should be allowed a couple breathers. Yes,
I get it, but
10
episodes.
10 episodes. Don't look at it like that.
Do you remember when it was like
22?
22.
And do you realize what was going on in those 22 episodes? How many narratives were going on, but how actually slow the narratives were ultimately? You slowed it down. This is a speed up. This is a cut the fat. This is a lean, mean steak. Medium well done. Just how I like it.
Another metaphor about food by Kaya Phillips.
Can't stop, won't stop. Real talk.
Okay. To wrap it up, we have something to say to close our second episode of Crossover Cinema Podcast.
To do the denouement of this episode. We are looking forward to more X-Men, and yet again, more X-Men. We'll see what happens in these next few. But realistically,
more fights and more fights.
Realistically,
and more
no.
What
I'm
do
gonna put
we?
it like this. When we reconvene on this, I think we're just gonna have our minds blown yet again. There's just gonna be another 30-minute, 45-minute balls to the wall. We love this show.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, it's gonna be a lot of excitement. But
and I'm ready to praise it. I'm ready. I'm so excited. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second edition of the Crossover Cinema Podcast with Karlo and Kaya. We hope you enjoyed your time with us. We enjoyed our time with you. Tune in next time on the Crossover Cinema Podcast Edition 3.
See you guys.
Ciao.